everybody, let's go travel through time. I make a pretty lame clock, I'm just saying. I don't know what just happened, but I kind of like it. Hello everybody! Today I'm going to be doing the Passenger Book Challenge. In this video, I'm going to be recommending some amazing books from different eras. In eras as in fictional eras, so they're not going to be books from like, you know, the 1700s that were written in the 1700s. More like books that take place in like the 1700s, 1800s, and 1900s. I am a huge history buff. I love history, I love learning about history, I love reading about history, whether fictional or non-fictional. I love all that stuff. Give me that history. I'll consume it like it's food. But not actually, because that's unhealthy for your digestive system. So you may be questioning, like, hey Sasha, why is this called the Passenger Book Challenge? Well, kind person who watches my videos, let me tell you why. So Passenger is a book by Alexandra Bracken that just got released. And let me tell ya, you guys have been missing out if you have not read this book yet. It is one of the most phenomenal reads I've read in 2015. It actually just recently came out, so a bunch of you probably have not read it yet, but definitely go to the store, definitely go buy it and read it and just consume it for all its glory because it is such an amazing novel. It's one of my favorite books I read in 2015. It's just, this book, the storyline is just so captivating. Okay, so Passenger is about a girl named Etta, and she is in love with playing the violin, and her whole entire life pretty much revolves around being a violinist. And her life is turned upside down when she's thrust back in time without knowing what the heck is going on. You know, when I was once thrust back into time, I had no idea what was going on, so I totally get what you're going through, girl. I totally get you. I get ya. I got ya. Because I was totally thrust back into time, guys, I swear. I'm actually from the prehistoric age. Oh, I hit myself too hard. So it turns out her mother is a time traveler and hid her past from her daughter, Etta. And her mom is captured by this bad family who's also time travelers. And it's up to Etta to get her mom back by getting an object for this bad family. And she has to team up with this very amazing guy named Nicholas. And Nicholas and her team up to get her mother back and to get this object that the bad family wants. It's an amazing story full of mystery, intrigue, romance. It's just, I loved it so much. So without further ado, let me recommend some amazing historical era novels that you guys will love because I know I loved all of them. Also, thank you Disney Hyperion for sponsoring this video. I cannot wait to get more into it. So guys, let's get started. So this wouldn't be a Bookutopia video if Outlander was not involved at least once in the video. So my first book I'm recommending is Outlander by Diana Gabaldon. This book takes place in the 1700s. Amazing, amazing novel. My favorite book in the whole entire world. And it takes place in Scotland about a woman named Claire Randall who's on her second honeymoon with her husband Frank up until she gets transported back in time when she touches some standing stones where she meets her new husband, Jamie Fraser, who is better in my opinion. And it's about their romance, their adventures, their epic story. It transcends time and boundaries and love. Oh, it's so good. So yes, this takes place technically in the 1940s and in the 1740s. The next two books takes place in the 1800s, so I love this era because of big poofy dresses and corsets. So much glamour, so much rib-breaking pain from those corsets, but they do look good. I have one. I would know. And the first book is The Madman's Daughter by Megan Shepherd. This book is a retelling of Frankenstein, but in the 1800s era, and it's so amazing, definitely creepy. It takes place on a remote island for a majority of this book, but the rest of the series takes place in London and Scotland. So, such an amazing book. And then of course I have to add in Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare, because why wouldn't I add in this book when I'm talking about historical novels? Even though this is a historical fantasy novel, because it does take place in the 1800s, but it's also fantasy because of the Shadowhunter world, which is beautiful. Cannot wait for Lady Midnight to come out in like 3 months, let me tell ya. Going back into the Shadow world, guys, we're going back. And lastly, I have 3 books that takes place in the 1940s and 50s, and they are very, very good. If you do not know, I love World War II era books because, I don't know, it just shows a time where there was such hardships and struggles, and it really makes you admire and cherish the world you live in now, even though we have our issues too, but we've overcome a lot. Okay, so the first book I'll be mentioning is The Bronze Horseman by Paulina Simons. This is a World War II book that is primarily a romance that really is, oh my gosh, this relationship she goes through a whole lot of crap, and it's so good. This book is about Tatiana and Alexander, and they live in Russia during World War II, and I've never really known the Russian side of the war, but now that I've read this book, it really shows me how crappy it got over there, and it is truly an eye-opening read. And the guy I picture as Alexander, I picture him as, you know, Henry Cavill. Hottie! The next book is Prisoner of Night and Fog by Anne Blankman. This book is about Hitler's niece falling in love with a Jewish reporter. Yeah, that is love that would not be accepted at the time, especially with Hitler's niece. But it truly shows how love transcends boundaries and limits that may be held against them at the time. Truly a beautiful, heart-wrenching, this book is so good. Okay, so the next book is an alternate history, and it's so good. So it's Wolf by Wolf by Ryan Grodin. This book takes place in a world where instead of the Allied powers winning World War II, the Nazis do. Yeah, not good at all. So it's truly a very unique, very different read that I truly love reading. If you want to know more about the books I mentioned in this video, I'll be linking all of their links down below in the description so you can go check them out. Tell me down below in the comments what are your top 3 favorite historical novels. I would love to know because I want to read more historical novels. I feel like I've read a lot of them out there, so if you have any recommendations, please let me know down below. So that's all for today's video. Hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time, or next year, or in the past, or in another era. Woo! You never know. So I'll see you sometime. See you sometime very soon. Bye! I got transported back into the past. Surprise, bitch.